Just be my wind, I just be my shine 空に With the light 散れたい夢だって最初から分かってた無関心な風に何度傷ついても太陽に手を伸ばす指先のレゾナンス瞬きの間も感じたくて根拠なんていつも後付けだよ大人ぶった予防線飛び越えて今 Fly away 踏み出した空に走って
Hello, and welcome back to NWS. This time, it's the Anime Club Friday. So, we discussed it when we quit Copelion last week.
It was horrible.
It was pretty bad. I've succeeded in not watching any more of it at all and not caring.
Me neither.
So, but we started a new series.
Girls und Panzer.
Yes, you have to say it like with the little German accent and everything.
Girls und Panzer.
Girls und Panzer. Okay. So we started this one, and it's better. So we're gonna go
better.
through our.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, we'll do closing comments later. Just we got to go through this. We got to be organized about it. But yeah, it was good. So oh, by the way, I'm Kyle.
I'm Bryce. And
Seth.
Yeah, he's
Seth.
He's.
Hey Seth, did you watch the episodes?
Most of it, yeah.
What do you mean by most of it?
He got to like halfway between when they find the tanks and stuff.
Okay, so
like
you got into the third episode almost.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
had to do a lot.
So not that bad.
yeah, that's pretty good.
Did some.
He's getting better about doing his homework.
Yeah, better.
Hey, did you do your homework?
I did do my homework.
I mean, you've watched it before, so you can...
Yeah, but the reason that we picked this one is I really wanted to watch it again, and you guys have never seen it, so I was excited. So yeah, I watched it today. I didn't have a chance earlier this week, but I watched it today.
Oh, come on,
all in a
God.
row. But it was fun. Now it's fresh in my head.
But then again, it's more about the opinions of the people who haven't watched it.
Right. That'd be you and Seth's.
Hey, he'll give his opinion. We'll get it out of him.
One way or another. One way or another, Seth. So real quick, let's if we go over the episode 1, do what?
If we go over
the thing that lets you
1.
know what the story is. What's that called? An overview of the
plot line.
The plot line, yeah.
Yes, the plot line.
Episode 1.
Plot line of episode 1. You follow as the main character, Nishizumi.
Yeah, Nishizumi, Miho.
Who was in a school that had tankery beforehand. It doesn't really tell you what goes on until like the 7th episode. Yeah. Which I haven't watched yet. I just heard that's what happens.
Yeah.
I've read a little bit of the manga, so I know. Yes, I liked it so much that I read some of the manga to go along with it. So I can kind of compare that.
I've created a believer. I would like to correct something I said. I said in our last podcast that it was one of my favorites of last year. But as I mentioned in our last podcast, my years run together really terribly.
It was 2012.
It was 2012. So 2 years ago. So a little bit of a date mishap. So you internet people are really particular about that. Now on here it has I don't think this was actually the title according to Crunchyroll. But this is the title of the first episode being I'll Take Up Tankery. Or I'll Take Up Senshado.
Senshado.
Yeah.
I
love
that word.
Yeah.
It means the weight of the tank.
Yeah. They give it it's like, you have Aikido and the one that's archery that I forget what it's actually called. But yeah, they put do in front of anything that's like an art form. And so now, I don't think they actually call driving a tank that, like in the military. But in this, it's an art form.
In complete honesty, I don't think they do tankery in high school. Let alone elementary school.
Alright.
In this universe that Girls in Panzer has created, you start from the time you're in elementary school.
Yeah, it's like
driving a tank and shooting it.
But only girls.
Only girls.
Yeah.
Because it's not a manly thing at all.
Yeah.
It's what brings out the most feminine part of a woman.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's not very masculine to drive a tank. It just doesn't happen.
Sounds mismatched.
Yeah. So anyway, our first episode starts with Miho Nishizumi starting her academic life at the Orai Girls High School.
Which supposedly has no tankery class.
Yeah.
Well, it did have no tankery class.
It didn't have a tankery class until she got there. So she quickly makes some friends with Saori Takabe and Hana Isuzu. And then is almost immediately approached by the student council and told that they're starting the tankery class back up and she's going to be in it.
That she has to pick it as her elective.
Yeah. Now, she fights this a little bit. And,
well, she has stuff in her past.
Yeah.
She feels guilty for things in her past regarding tankery that we'll get into later as we go through the series.
Yeah.
And she really doesn't want to do it again at first.
She initially tries to enroll. They have mandatory electives that you have to take, and tankery is one of them that you can choose from. And I liked the one that she actually picked was, I think, incense.
Really?
Yeah.
Incense.
I think it was incense.
Okay.
It was like some sort of like ceremony thing. Because there's like tea ceremony and flower arranging and...
Yeah, because I know Hana Isuzu, she did flower arranging.
Yeah.
Because she makes the comment when, in the second episode, not to get it too ahead of myself, but they look for these tanks to do the tankery class.
Right.
Because they only have one there. But they used to have a tankery class, so, they dumped all their tanks somewhere in the schoolyard, which involves going down cliffs and into caves and jumping into rivers.
I want to know how
the
tank got up in the cliff.
Yeah, did you notice that? It was in the middle of the cliff.
It's like 80 feet up in the air, jammed into a cliff. I'm like, how did it get up there?
There's no hole. My phone just made random noises.
So,
yeah.
So eventually, they talk her into joining the tank club, and yeah, and that's about as far as we get in the first episode. Her and her friends all decide to join it, and then brings us to our second episode, which we were just talking about.
They go into the garage, and there's only one tank there. Well, was there even a tank there?
Yes.
Yes.
They have the Panzer IV.
There was the Panzer IV, and then they just had to look for more tanks for other people.
Yeah.
For the other teams. So they go out searching. As we mentioned, they go down cliffs. They go into rivers. It's pretty crazy where they find these things. Now with the flower arranging, what I was going to talk about with Isuzu. Man, I'm gonna say that wrong. I know I'm saying that wrong, guys.
You can't get past the Japanese names. They're tough.
They're really tough sometimes. But she used to do flower arranging, so they're looking for one in the middle of like a forest/jungle type scenery, and she's like, I smell oil mixed with flowers. And apparently she has a good sense of smell because she used to do flower arranging. So
I guess it would be.
It comes in handy. I guess so.
Well, I can see that. So they end up finding all, 5? They have
find
5 tanks?
5 tanks altogether.
Yeah. And they're waiting for their instructor to show up. And
she makes quite the entrance, doesn't she?
That's
Kyle?
one of my favorite. And I'm gonna put this scene
Okay.
In the video because it's pretty great how she makes an entrance. It'll be right now. And then it will end right now.
Isn't that awesome though? Just it came from the parachutes. It landed on the superintendent or chairman.
Yeah,
it's different
the headmaster,
depending on if you read the manga or if you did the anime, which is weird because the manga came after in this case.
I think so, yeah.
I believe so. It was an adaptation of the anime.
Yeah, I'll have to make sure of that. So she arrives, and her instructions for them are just to go ahead and start a mock battle as training. The tanks are already they've prepared them, and
Decorated them.
They decorated them, yeah.
Yeah, one of them is pink. One of them has all these flags and looks.
I love the history clubs.
Which
tank.
one is that?
That's the red and gold one with the flags.
Yeah. Okay. That one was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
They call it it's like the elephant or the hippo or something like that.
Yeah.
Because the turret doesn't move, so you have to turn the entire tank to aim. So after they get them all painted up, ready to go, repaired, and they're running and everything, they go into a mock battle, which is where they learn a lot about
how to
operate the tanks and also where
tank.
their place is within the teams.
Yeah, they find out quickly that some of them are not meant to be radio operators. They're meant to be drivers.
Right.
Or
so,
if your driver gets knocked out, there might be somebody that you can pick up on the side of the road that automatically knows how to drive.
So as they're in this battle, that happens. They get attacked by 2 of the other teams. The main team, when we say them, we're talking about the operators of the Panzer IV, which is the main characters.
Miho and Sari and
Isuzu. And another girl who's named...
And Yukari.
Yeah, Yukari. Yeah. And this brings us into episode 3. It kind of leaves you at a cliffhanger. And transitions into episode 3. Where they decide to try to escape across a narrow bridge.
Wooden bridge, too.
Yeah. But on their way to this narrow wooden bridge, they almost hit my favorite character, Mako, which we'll talk about her more in a second. And she jumps up onto the tank and joins them. And so as they're on the bridge, it's, kind of an intense scene where they're getting fired at from all sides. They're about to fall off the bridge. And suddenly, what's-her-face goes unconscious for some reason.
Hana.
Yeah.
I'm going to call her Hana for now.
That's easier.
Yeah.
Isuzu Hana.
Isuzu Hana.
Okay, so Hana goes unconscious.
And she was the driver, mind you.
Yeah. And Mako takes her place. Just kind of sits down and is like, yep, and gets them back on the bridge.
Well, doesn't she, flip through the book real quick? And they're like, do you know how to drive? And she's like, I do now. Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, she just folds the book up, puts it up in front of her, and starts driving. And, that's awesome. So, they narrowly escape getting hit a couple times, and they take out the other 3 tanks that are attacking them.
Yes.
And then one just gets stuck in the mud and explodes.
One gets stuck in the mud, and the track just kind of rips off, so they retire.
Yeah. And that kind of ends the exciting part of that episode. Then we just have some kind of character building with the girls getting to know each other.
And then it does get into that other women's academy.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, this weekend we know this is all like last minute notice.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for. Last minute notice. But we're gonna do a real match against another women's academy
with St. Gloriana Women's Academy, which is British. They're the British military.
They're the British. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't catch on to that.
Every academy that they fight is from a different country. So you have St. Gloriana from Britain and Pravda
and
from
then
Russia.
Kuronine. The Black Forest Peak, which they battle them later.
Yeah.
But that's from Germany.
Yeah.
And things like that. So it's these different countries that just send their high school girls out to fight in tanks.
So all the characters take up their respective roles as Saori as the radio operator, Hana as the gunner and loader, and Mako as driver. What's her face? Yukari as the operator, and then the main character Miho as the captain or leader.
Yeah, the commander.
So, and then of course they have a little scene where they decorate their tanks on the inside now with pillows and cushions.
They put pillows and little
because they're just too uncomfortable.
Screens and stuff like that. It looks pretty nice after they do
you know.
so. It's pretty cozy. I would live in that.
Yeah. I would live in a tank.
Oh man, I would love that.
But you can't because it's not manly.
No, it's feminine.
Yeah.
Then again, I've been called pretty feminine man before.
I think I've called you that. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, so that's about where we ended. With them just.
That's about it. They were about to start a big battle against St. Gloriana, and then it cuts.
Yeah,
that's it.
So next week is episodes 4 through 6, and those will be the actual. Actually, all 3 episodes are a battle with St. Gloriana.
Huh. So we'll see how that goes.
So just some information on. Let's see. Let me find here. On some other things. So we're just gonna kind of go over what we thought of the show now that we've done the recap of the episodes. First off, I wanted to talk about the animation. Now the animation was handled by Studio Actus. No, that's for the Studio Actus, which I've never heard of.
Never heard of. No.
But I thought they did a really good job. Personally, the character models are, nice. They're very standard moe anime girls, but they're very fluid and they have they're very detailed. Lots of movement in the hair and stuff.
And unlike Capellian, they had thin
yes,
lines.
Actually well designed and not distracting. They blend into their backgrounds nicely.
Very nicely.
Now this is licensed by Sentai Filmworks, which I love Sentai Filmworks. They have some of my favorite series licensed through them. And it was directed by Tsutomu Mizushima. And I think it's interesting. I don't have a lot of information on what else he's done. But he was really particular about the animation, especially of the tanks themselves.
Perfectionist, so I heard, right?
Yeah. And his perfectionism actually led to them being over budget and behind schedule on a lot of the episodes. So we have episode 5.5 and 10.5?
10.5?
Yeah. Which we won't watch. We're just going to skip those episodes.
Those are just recaps.
Yes, they're just recap episodes. But it's because they didn't have their next episode ready yet. Because he was making them do the animation better. So, I think overall animation was top notch.
Now, what was your thought on the music?
It was very fitting, but nothing that really stood out. They used the same track a lot. I could probably whistle it.
It worked. It worked good in the background. Something simple, but it fit the series.
Yeah.
It worked really well with everything else.
Just kind of an upbeat, nice tone. Nothing stand out like, Attack on Titan or Fullmetal Alchemist had in it. But
it was still good. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about, it was actually in the animation, but one thing I did notice when going through the manga and the anime is there was a few inconsistencies. One of the major ones that made me upset. I'm not really sure why, but it made me upset. Their schoolgirl uniforms, the little emblem right up here near the collar is a cross in the anime.
Huh.
But in the manga, it's an eagle. Or some type of bird.
That's interesting.
So I'm not sure why they changed that, but it annoyed me. It really did.
Well, inconsistencies are always annoying.
So
anyway, so what do you think about the characters?
I love them.
Yeah, let's go through them real quick. Just the main characters.
They were so cute.
So our main character, Miho Nishizumi, I find her to be a really relatable character. Like, one of my favorite scenes in these 3 episodes is she runs, I'll probably post a little video of this, is she runs out of the house the first day she's going to school. She runs out, gets to the stairs to go down from her apartment, and then has to turn around and go back to her door, jiggle the door to make sure it's locked, and then turns around and runs away again.
Hey guys, there's going to be a little bit of a jump cut,
oh yeah,
so we can check our
20 minutes.
camera.
Alright, we'll be back. And we're back. We had to just check our camera and make sure we weren't going to cut off in the middle of something that we were saying.
Unlike NWS.
Yeah. Someday we'll have a better camera that plugs into the wall or something.
Man, I hope so.
Anyways, so yeah, love the main character. Did I finish what I was saying about her? Yeah, she did.
Well, you said something
she makes sure
about...
that she locked the door and then goes back. Like, she comes back to the door to make sure that she locked it. And that just reminded me of stuff I have to, like, go back and make sure I make sure that I've locked the door, like, all the time. Whenever I leave the house or if I'm at work, I've driven back from my house back to work to make sure I've locked back up.
Then there's Hana Izuzu. I was a big fan of her. She's probably my favorite just because of her attitude on things. She's so reserved and mature, and she doesn't really seem like she fits in with... Well, she does, but she doesn't fit in with her group of friends. It's very different. Yukari, on the other hand... Are we going to talk about voice acting? Or are we just
yeah, we can. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I did like about the voice actors is they picked some really good ones. Some well-used ones, too.
They've been in a lot of stuff, especially recently. They've played in a lot of things this season.
Since in this case we have 5 main characters instead of 3. Probably not going to go through everything that each one has done, but they've been in a lot of things. Like, for instance, the person who plays Miho. Yes.
We'll get these names right eventually. Give us another episode or 2.
She was in ones like Arpeggio. I can't say any words right. I should just walk off this podcast right now. It's over, man.
So Arpeggio, yes.
Arpeggio of Blue Steel. She was in Bleach as a spirit. She was in the game Okami. She was in one of the
really?
Okami games. And a few other ones like Baka and Test. And she's also in the one that's going on right now called Sakura Tre.
Oh, yeah.
So. And then,
let's see. Saori Takabe is voiced by Ai Kayano. And she's actually been in a lot of stuff that I've watched recently. She was in Guilty Crown as Inori Yuzuriha. She was in Kami-sama Dolls, which I made you guys watch, as Shiba Hibino, which is the main girl character, not the little one, tall one.
I haven't actually watched that yet.
Did I make you watch it?
You told me it was good, so I watched it, and it was definitely interesting.
You also told me to watch it.
And you didn't, did you?
But I haven't yet, along with quite a few others
well,
that I need to. She's
also been the pet girl of Sakura So as Mashiro Shina, which is the main girl character. This year she's been in Valvrave the Liberator, Unbreakable Machine Doll. And by this year I'm talking about 2013. Because I'm stuck in the past. This year, she's in Captain Earth, and actually that's the only one this year that she's in that I've watched. But Captain Earth is really good.
And then the person who did Mako... Now, the person who did Hana Azuzu and Yukari, I believe... they haven't done too much more than Girls in Panzer.
Right.
Been a few other ones like Bodacious Space Pirates or
I watched a little bit of that.
Or
it wasn't good.
Never mind. I can't even think of. I can't even think of the second one.
So Bodacious Space Pirates.
They were both in it. But the one that played Mako, that was Yuka Iguchi. I hope I said that right. I'm really bad with Japanese names. But she was in Baki Monogatari and also Neko Monogatari and Nisei Monogatari.
Oh, so she was in the entire series.
She was in just about the entire series. I think there was one called Kisei Monogatari, and she's not in that one.
Oh, okay.
So...
she also played Index in a certain magical index and a certain scientific railgun.
She also played Sherry and Chelia Blendy from Fairy Tail. And she was also in, I can't find it right now, but she was also in Zero no Tsukaima, which was pretty good.
Oh.
Bit ecchi, but I love the anime.
So, yeah, she's been well known. Now I wanted to talk about her a minute because...
she's also... Oh, no, she's not the one that's in the game. But one of the voice actors... I might have Kyle look it up. I don't know. Or Seth. Seth, you'll look it up. Is in Final Fantasy 14. Not sure what character she plays, but she's in that game as a voice actor.
And now, of course, we're only talking about the Japanese voice actors.
Japanese voice
actresses.
Actresses. They were all girls.
Yeah, they were all girls.
Some of them didn't look like girls, but they were all girls.
So, if you want to look at... There's a Wikipedia article that has all the English voice actresses, too. Which I didn't know it got dubbed. I guess it has, though.
I guess so. I watched off of Crunchyroll.
Yeah, so that's just the sub version.
Always do the sub version.
Now I wanted to talk about Mako for a second, because she's my favorite character in this entire series. Overall. Just because I can relate to her personality so much. And the fact that she hates being awake.
Yes.
So it takes everything in their power to keep her awake and active and doing things with them. And one of my favorite lines, I'll post the clip here, is they're getting ready for their next battle, and they're stating everything that they're going to need to do to get ready, and they say, and it's going to be at 6 a.m. And she just turns around and says, I quit, and leaves.
She tries to quit a lot of times for some pretty odd and unnecessary reasons.
And so they have to chase her down. And she has one of my favorite statements. She says, she's like, can humans even get up at 6 a.m.?
That's where that comes from?
Yeah. I use that all the time.
That's...
日曜は学校へ朝6時に集合。そんなに朝早く？やめる。はい？やっぱり戦車道をやめる。もうですか？マコは朝が弱いんだよ。待ってください。6時は無理だ。モーニングコールさせていただきます。うちまでお迎えに行きますから。朝だぞ。人間が朝の6時に起きれるか？いえ、6時集合ですから起きるのは5時くらいじゃないと。人にはできることとできないことがある。短い間だったが世話になった。
That's awesome. I'll have to look for that.
So,
there was some really, really interesting dialogue in the... Well, there has been some really interesting dialogue in the show. I'm excited to see what the next 3 episodes
I
is like.
looked up at all the voice actors and I can't figure out which one it is because there was a lot.
He looked up all the voice actors. There's a lot of characters in this show. So, yeah, you're not going to find it that way.
I'm not going to find it.
But anyways, we're closing in on 30 minutes.
Okay, well then we'll wrap it up.
We'll stop. Any more comments or opinions that we have about the writing, the animation, things like that, we might talk about in next week's Anime Club Friday.
Yeah, but I think overall, I really enjoyed watching it again.
I enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
It was, honestly, when I first started watching it, I had to text Kyle to tell him that I thought it was...
Because
great.
he didn't believe me.
I didn't believe him that it would be good. So I sent him a text saying, "Oh my god, this is so cute." Not like that though.
No, it didn't say that either. But yeah. I know where to go with that.
I just did that on camera.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good for you.
I'm getting used to embarrassing myself on the internet. But that's what
we do.
That's what we do. That's what YouTube's for.
At least that's what you do.
That's at least what I do.
Anyways, next week, episodes 4 through 6. We're skipping 5.5. It's a recap episode, so you guys can watch it if you want, but we're not going to talk about it. So,
I'm Bryce.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Seth.
That's Seth.
And this has been Anime Club Friday. We should just change it to Anime Club Friday instead of having Nerds with Shirts in front of it.
Yeah, might as well do that.
Anime Club Friday. It will be every Friday.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Unless
something happens.
But it's a weekly anime club, so.
It's a weekly anime club. Remember to keep up with the Untitled Podcast on Mondays, our Nerds with Shirts on Wednesdays, and, of course, our Anime Club Fridays on Fridays.
Yes, and production vlogs in between.
You can contact us at NWSpodcast@gmail.com.
And don't forget about our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook accounts, which will be in the description.
And also in the credits.
Yes.
Hopefully. We'll see if
they'll be there.
We'll see if he can.
They're always there.
Okay. Anyways, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.